Well, my name is Ali Hughes. I'm chair of the Windsor-Burwood, and I'd like to welcome you here for this very important meeting. I know we've got staff from Windsor, we've got our community, we've also got some from our community in Burwood and also in Chisholmwood, so welcome to everyone for this. As I've said, this is a very important meeting, and it's important that you all have a chance to have your say about the process. So just to take you through what we're going to do. So we're going to take you through the Ministry's proposals. You've had information sent home about what's proposing, which is the merger of Windsor School and Burwood School to form a new school on the Windsor site. We're going to undertake a SWOT analysis, and Anne later on will explain how we're going to do that, so you can think about the various options and what they might mean. We're going to collect questions, and I think we were going to have some paper around the room. There is, so that you can put down any questions that you think of as the evening goes on. If we can't answer those tonight, then we will get answers, and we'll make sure that they go onto the website. And then we're going to end with some drinks and nibbles. So just to introduce all of us, as I say, my name is Ali Hughes. I'm mother of Thomas, who's now 12 and in the University at Chisholmwood. I've been on the Board of Trustees since 2006 and been chair since 2007. Going along the line, we have Andrew here, father of 3 boys, departing Joshua, as you said, so Joshua is also year 7 at Chisholmwood, Ben who's here, and Sam who's going to be joining Windsor soon, and Andrew looks after the HR portfolio for the board. Next we've got Anne, her mother of Maya, who's aged 7. Anne and Andrew have both been on the board for about a year, and Anne looks after the secretarial duties to the board. We've then got Joy, mother of 2 boys, Liam and Blair. She's been on the board since 2010, and she looks after the property portfolio, so she's been a particularly busy lady over the last year or so. Then we have Tom. Tom's the father of 3 girls, Caitlin, who's now at high school, Anna in year 6 and Molly in year 3. And Tom's a very important person because he looks after the treasury function and makes some of the school bank account is running properly. And Tom's been on the board probably for 3 years? 3 or 4 years. And last but not least, we've got Leslie. So most people know Leslie. She's a year 2 teacher, and she's the staff representative on the board. So we're going to do the presentation. We're going to take it in turns. There's going to be a bit of shuffling around with microphones, but hopefully we'll cover off a lot of your questions as we go through. Thank you.
Rightio. So I'm going to take you through 3 slides. The first couple are about the education renewal plan. So obviously the plan was developed in consultation with the community. When reading through the plan, I guess the feeling you get is really trying to understand about the effects, I guess firstly of the earthquake, and how the repopulation of the earthquake is going to affect us to date, and also what sort of likely changes it's going to have long term as people settle down and move around. Obviously the renewal plan is looking at some of the big picture ideas, and they were generally well received. I guess the core of this discussion should be about our children and their education. The big picture ideas are great and could be great, but I think the really important thing that we're going to talk about tonight is how would we get there is probably the real challenge. From the consultation around the renewal plan, obviously the Minister's come up with some of the specifics, which we now have to deal with. And as I said to you, it's probably more about how we get there and some of the specifics that we talk about tonight. The Board of Trustees, with your help, need to address obviously the Minister's wishes in terms of what they're trying to change here, but also the community's wishes and the parents of the school, and also about trying to make sure that through this process that we look after the school that we value and the team that run the school for us. The renewal plan is obviously about, it's focused on academic outcomes for our children, and obviously for us we want to make sure that we continue the great work that our school does today within inside the community and for our children. And that's not only long term in terms of what changes are made, but I guess more importantly also that as we go through this process we don't want the school to slip away as we go through this process. The plan is obviously about encouraging collaboration across all the local schools. So there's a lot of schools inside this area, and I guess it's about looking at the best use of available resource, sharing ideas, sharing some of the educational successes, developing a stronger and wider community connection across all the schools, not just within inside Windsor. I guess also is encouraging local solutions for the children, so discouraging out-of-zone enrolments. And I guess I've spent quite a bit of time looking at the information that's been presented, and as a parent, you can get a very blurred, media-driven opinion around the kids or the children that are attending different schools. And I think out-of-zoning enrolments can make a big difference to the view or the picture of a particular school when looking to make some of these decisions. Obviously, they're looking to try and balance up some of the disparities between the school, and obviously in a perfect world we would hope that regardless of what school our children went to they'd get a similar education everywhere. I don't think that's quite the case now, but obviously that's the long-term goal, and that's, I guess, part of what the Minister's big plan is. Obviously, the big part of the proposal that the Minister's put forward is to merge Windsor and Burwood schools together on the Windsor site, and the proposed merger date is 2016. I think one of the things that we'll try to do tonight is we'll attempt to explain the differences between the merger with Burwood as a proposal against, say, the closure of Burwood. So there are a number of differences that I think hopefully by the end of tonight you'll understand, and what impact that would have on the school and as you as parents, as part of the community. The other part of the plan is to look to recapitate Windsor to a Year 7 and 8 school. So essentially means Windsor long term would provide a primary and intermediate education for the children attending Windsor. Obviously part of this process is understanding if we did recapitate what the actual size of the school might be, given the changes in roll growth, people coming and going and moving around. That sort of data is very important, obviously around understanding building requirements, staff and general resources in the school. It obviously also has a big impact on other schools, particularly like Chisnellwood, with Windsor being the biggest feeder school into Chisnellwood. So it does have, some of these decisions have quite large impacts on other local schools as well.
Okay, so what has your board done for you so far in relation to, since the 28th of September when we got this letter for the proposal? I can say that we've been really busy. We've initially released a joint statement from Burwood School where we sent it home through in the school newsletter, so you would have had the opportunity to read that. That was all about our position being that we would prefer to stay as we are, so that was a very clear message that we were getting from our communities very much in the early stages. We have sent out bits and pieces in the newsletters to our parents, updates as they come through in the community, and obviously the timing of information release has been sporadic, but we're beginning to get the bigger picture now, which is really good. We've had numerous meetings with the Ministry of Education on a number of levels, speaking with them, trying to get more information, whether it be to do with property or to talk directly with why the proposals happen and the rationale for it. Neil, I think, has spoken to every person that he possibly could within the education sector, and then spoken to them some more, and Ellie has as well. So It's been a full-time holiday job for Neil over the 2 weeks that we were all enjoying time with our family. Neil and Ali were busy running around ringing and speaking to people, putting the hard word on them, getting the hot oil. Because the key thing for the board is that we really wanted to have the right information and advice so that we could all make some informed judgments about these proposals. And they are proposals, so we need to understand what all of the information is about. We did an official Information Act request through to the Ministry of Education and to the Minister's office, asking for some more specific information, particularly around the rationale for change in the reports that were given to the Minister by the Ministry of Education in relation to proposals. A number of us attended the Burwood School consultation meeting towards the end of the term last term to see what they were saying and how they were looking to consult with their communities. There's been discussions with the unions. Neil's attended several of the meetings to do with the learning clusters that have been proposed to, which has also had some influence on the proposals that are being made. And we've also had a number of additional Board of Trustees meetings in relation to sharing our information and preparing for this consultation evening. We've also arranged a facilitator to help us formulate our proposal that needs to be submitted for December. And we all, I think you can't underestimate the huge effort and dedication from Ali and Neil in particular around getting this information to us and making some sense of it, because there was booklets and emails and things arriving at 8:30 on Friday night, and Neil writing emails to us all at 2 o'clock in the morning when he's just woken up with one of those, oh my God, I need to share this idea moments. But it's certainly at the forefront of everybody's minds. We still know that some questions are unanswered, or we don't have that absolute clarity or detail, but we are pushing for that information, and hopefully some of your questions tonight will help sort of clarify some of those, or get some of those questions that we can get answered. So as I said before, both of our schools, Burwood and Windsor, have agreed that we would prefer to continue as we are. It's been the statement that we've made in our joint statement, and we feel that we would like to remain that way. So that is our preference. However, we've still got to think about the proposals. It's not about Burwood not wanting us and us not wanting Burwood School, but our position is actually around supporting the wishes of each of our school communities, and anecdotally from all the conversations that we've already had in our school everyday conversations in and around school, the message is quite clear that we'd prefer to stay as we are, so that is the position that we're communicating with the Ministry of Education. However, we do have a lot in common with Burwood School. We share similar communities. We already share an area of our enrolment zone which is quite substantial. Our children overlap in their extracurricular activities through guides, scouts, sports, dance and preschools. In music, we also have similar values to Burwood. Our academic goals and our outcomes are very similar as well. We've had our staff work with Burwood School in terms of professional development, so they have combined learning from a professional development, and they have been also, altogether we've been in a 3-year ICT cluster as well. So we do want to maintain our positive relationships with Burwood because at the end of the day we are neighbours, and we're all of a similar community or a similar mind or thinking. But we still believe that it's in our best interest to continue separately.